Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Mike.
And we're bringing you the best U.S. men's national team news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? We are the American Red Devils, and we are breaking down the U.S. men's national team last round of World Cup qualifying. Sirs, it is a big round of matches. We are headed to Mexico City, San Jose, Costa Rica, and at home at Panama. Boys, how we feeling? Confident? 9 points for the Hef and crew?
Welcome back, Mike, to the U.S. men's national team takeover. You're our resident expert. How are you feeling? Lots on the line here for the United States men's national team. Give us your take here. 3 big games.
Yes, sirs. Well, thanks for having me back on, sirs. I've missed you guys. I'm nervous. I think it's obviously huge 3 games. It's kind of I feel somewhat reminiscent of the last time we were in this position 4 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever that was. So I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, we got a big upgrade from Bruce Arenas. This guy, he's come through the ranks. I'm very confident. No, it's a big run of games. You know, at the end of the day, there's really no excuses. The roster of this club, United States national team, is better than Mexico, better than Panama, better than Costa Rica. And now it's about mentality and getting the boys up for it. It's going to be a big ask for the Halfmeister. Dude, huge.
Absolutely huge. You know, all we had to do was beat Trinidad and Tobago away in 2018, and we couldn't do it. Now we got to beat Panama at home, a informed Panama who we lost to away, and or beat Mexico away at the Azteca, which has only happened one time. And you know, away in Costa Rica, we don't play well. So 3 difficult games, and we need points. We left it late. Mexico has easier games. Panama has easier games. Costa Rica arguably has easier games. They actually have to play Canada, so they're probably even with us. But it's tough 3 matches for the United States with so much on the line. And when you look at us bottling Trinidad and Tobago, that's what makes me nervous, right? I'd feel really confident if 2018 never happened.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's you know, like getting a result against Panama. You said, you know, you could say we should do that easily. I mean, I just don't have a ton of confidence with the way Berhalter's been lining us up and has been kind of managing the past several cycles, right? So, I mean, I wish I was more confident. Maybe it's just the nervous fan in me, but like, you know, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to get the results we need, and I mean, we should do it. We should definitely freaking do it, but we'll see.
Your concern is coming from a place that's genuine, because if you looked at the way this team is lined up, and I think even the confidence of the manager, I think we are not on the ascendancy. We are on the descendancy. We haven't looked quite as confident. I feel like Berhalter has been grasping at straws a little bit in this run of games. There's nowhere to hide. So at the end of the day, qualification or bust, right? That is the standard expected of this side. They're expected to make it to the World Cup. There's really no excuses because of how talented this team is. You'd argue much more talented than the team that got knocked out in 2018. So left it all on the line, but all you have to do is win 2 games, and you're good as gold.
Easier said than done.
Yes.
And I think I echo what both of you guys are saying in that we've never found our footing. We've never really found that breakout number 9 goal scorer for the United States. We never really found our form. You look at a team like Costa Rica, they were out of it. Now they're back in. They're playing well. I think the United States, we've just been treading water, really. You went to the match in Nashville against Canada. I think that was really we can beat bad teams at home. Away we struggled. This team's been all over the board, chopping and changing from Berhalter.
Yeah, I mean, and
it's tough. It's a tough look.
Yeah, I mean, no McKinney in that match, right? And we're not going to have him in this cycle. I mean, he's been our best player. You know, we don't have no Turner in goal, who's been solid. No Dest, right? I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Some of these other guys are going to have to come in and step up. I think like Musa's going to have to play really well in the middle, control the game. I mean, I think Pulisic and Aronson are both in form, so that helps. But some of those other roster choices are questionable at best, and it's kind of like run of the mill for him. I think these days, right? He's just kind of I've come to learn to what to expect from Burke Heffer, right?
Well, appreciate you calling it like you see it, because at the end of the day, this is when the true mettle of this team and this manager is going to be tested, because you are going into the fucking lion's den. We're talking about like Ciudad Mexicana. You're going Mexico City, 82,000 fans, bro, 9,000 feet elevation. And it's like, and they're going to be fired up. And you know what? There's a lot of bad blood in the footballing realm between the U.S. and Mexico for obvious reasons. So you have that. You have the Panama and all the history we have after 18, the fact that they're actually like very much in the hunt. And then Costa Rica, again, going to San Jose. Not an easy place to play. It's going to test this team, right? Young team.
We left it late. We talked about it when we started the pod, the U.S. men's national team takeover. You can't need points away against Mexico and Costa Rica in the last round of qualifying. And depending on how the results go, we may need points away this cycle. Obviously, you're probably just looking at us winning Panama, and that should be enough to get in, assuming that Costa Rica can't beat Canada. But, I don't see the neighbors to the north doing us any favors in qualifying to date. But quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the American Red Devils and you want to support us, check out our Discord channel. We have an amazing community, 500 members and growing. If you want to invite to our Discord community, it's pinned to our Twitter profile. Click on the link. You jump into the chat. It is absolutely a riot. And we have a specific U.S. men's national team channel. Please check that out. It's always firing when the U.S. men's national team is playing. Also, check out our Patreon page. You want to support us, go to www.patreon.com/America Red Devils. We don't have any sponsors on the podcast. We're supported directly by you, the fans. We give away pins, stickers, shirts, scarves, you name it. Support us via Patreon. Also, check out our website, www.americareddevils.com. Click on store, grab some merch, supports the podcast. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews, they're a great way to support the pod. And if you don't listen to the pod on iTunes, you listen on Spotify, wherever you listen to the American Red Devils, that's what you have to write a review. Write a 5-star review, send a screenshot to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com. Whether you listen to us for Manchester United or our coverage of the U.S. men's national team. And if you send us that screenshot of that 5-star review with your mailing address, I, Alex from the pod, will personally pick, pack, and ship some free American Red Devils merch. Great, show of appreciation for writing a review. Helps us get found organically, and it certainly goes a long way. Gentlemen, 3 matches.
Alex, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking, you know what I like to drink. I'm drinking a Negroni. It's been a while, been a hell of a week. We don't get to see Miguel enough. And you know what? We've got games to play. We always talk about the parallels between Manchester United and the United States men's national team. And I think the parallels are really kind of the most common because of the poor ownership, poor management. But United has nothing going right now. Top 4, maybe. This is everything. This is as big as it gets.
I mean, this is 8 years in the making. We
Exactly.
missed the last World Cup. This is I can't imagine not making it. That's why I'm so nervous, Mike. Is that driving the fear? Is just that, could you imagine what this would do to U.S. soccer if we missed 2 World Cups?
It's. I can't imagine it. I'm not gonna go there. I'm just not gonna go there.
All right. Speaking of not going
Super
there,
confident. Super confident.
we're going there. This is the final countdown. The U.S. men's national team's quest for Qatar 2022. You know what, Mike? If we miss this one, 2026, they give that charity bid. When you host it, you automatically get in. Maybe that's why we won the bid in 2026. Let's get into that roster. Mike, you want to take us through the positions? Burke Heffer launched this roster to some criticism. We'll get into the key omissions here. You just want to take us down the roster by position?
Yeah, let's do it. So three goalkeepers. He has Ethan Horvath, Sean Johnson, and Zach Steffen. Defenders, we have Reggie Cannon, Serginho Dest, who was recently hurt. I think they actually called in Bello, if I'm not mistaken, so he's taken his place. Aaron Long, Eric Palmer Brown, Anthony Robinson, Jedi Robinson, Miles Robinson, James Sands, DeAndre Edlin, and Walker Zimmerman. For midfielders, he has Kellen Acosta, Tyler Adams, Gianluca Busio, Luca De La Torre, Yunus Musa, and Christian Roldan. And for forwards, he has Brendan Aronson, Paul Areola, Jesus Ferreira, Jordan Morris, Jordan Pifok, Ricardo Pepe, Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, and Tim Weah.
Who are you most excited about in that group of players that he selected there?
I think Pifok's playing well. I think he's maybe leading the league, the Swiss league.
Yeah, he plays at Young Boys.
For the Young Boys. Yeah. So he's. I'm excited that he's in. Like I said earlier, Aronson's in form. Obviously, Pooley's in form, which I like. Good to have Gio back, for sure. I'm disappointed. We could get into the omissions now, John, or wait, but disappointed about Brooks not being there. I think Joe Scaley's not there, which would have helped. No Josh Sargent, which is really questionable. But we have enough talent here to win the games. I don't think that's been our problem, right?
I don't know. I think with how could you not pick John Brooks? I really have to go in on this one. This seems like a personal riff. John Brooks, obviously, when we talk about people who've been to the World Cup, a vet in the side, knows the pressure, scored the header that we saw in Natal, Brazil, to best Ghana. You need that type of vet who's been there before with this young crowd, and he's nowhere to be seen. He's saying the right things. Burke Heffer is changing the story. It doesn't make any sense. Basically says he's not doing, there basically won't be enough time for him to implement what he needs. But at the same time, he brings in Sands, plays with Rangers, who hasn't seen or featured for the United States in like a year, but somehow he can do it, but Brooks can't. So inconsistency as far as rationale for picking players from Burke Heffer. I wish he was a little more transparent, but something's not right between these two, because he should definitely be featuring.
And I don't know about the current injury status or fitness status of Brooks, but at the end of the day,
he's fit.
You want senior experienced players.
He's fit and he's in form. He should be on the lineup. There's no question about it. Like, how are you bringing Aaron Long or
exactly?
I mean, EPB. I like him a lot, but like,
why leave him out?
Why? No, I mean he's probably top 4 or 5 out of all the players that you have on here in terms of like where he ranks in the transfer market and all that, right? So like,
personal vendetta. It's a
it
personal.
doesn't make any sense, right?
That's the only thing you could explain. It'd be a personal thing between him and, because last time he said he's not on form, now he's on form, and now he says, oh well, I don't have enough time to work with him. It makes no sense. Also, Josh Sargent, he said he plays on the wing for Norwich, so he can't really figure out how he would do at number 9 for the United States. That's what he said. How does that make any sense?
That sounds like you have a tactical genius manager that has no idea what he's doing.
He doesn't know how Sargent's going to play at number 9. But Pepe is out of form at club. That's the one thing I don't get about Burkhalter. It's like Josh Sargent is playing well for Norwich. Pepe is out of form, but he's in the squad. Sargent can't get a call up. Obviously, you have favorites here, but it's weird.
Jordan Morris just came back, right? I mean, Jordan Morris just came back. He's been hurt. How are you going to put him in over Sargent? I mean, it doesn't. He's contradicting. I mean, Areola too, right? I mean, he like barely got on the field or played, didn't play very well when he was at Swansea. You have Sargent in the, like playing well at Norwich, scoring goals. Like I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, the fact that you have Jordan Morris after how he's played in these other games, he has looked like he doesn't even belong on the 28-man roster.
That's where the board of the U.S. Soccer Federation.
Yeah, but this is what happens when you have Goldman Bankers running the FA. I mean,
also, have you heard of the reason why Turner's out, Mike?
Rumor mill, let's hear it.
Yeah, so multiple rumors say Matt Turner suffered second-degree frostbite on his kicking foot during the qualifier versus Honduras in Minnesota. Bruce Arenas and U.S. Soccer haven't commented on the injury because they don't want Berkheffer to look bad because he picked to play in like negative 20 degrees in Minnesota, and actually that's the reason why our number one keeper is out. Berkheffer in his press conference denied that rumor, said it's not true.
Fake news. Yeah,
clearly, like, we asked, why are we playing in these extreme conditions? And then we injure our own player. That seems to sum up Berkheffer, in my opinion. This whole fiasco, if you did look back on it, say if we miss out or something happens, and we look back on it, it would be clear the whole time this guy was just a numpty, and he's the one to blame for all this racket, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, he's put himself in a position to be like heavily criticized on multiple fronts, right? that is definitely one of them. I don't think the frostbite thing is legit. But I do think he probably got hurt. He did probably get hurt in that game. Right?
Frostbite.
Yeah, the frostbite gate. What I like about it is that dude, he's got like this. He got the best job in the world. He got the U.S. men's national team youth squad, the squad that is so set up to do well. There's so much talent in it, considering where we where we were 4 years ago, even 8 years ago. This is such a talented team that at the end of the day, you're only as good as your manager. And we've seen that, personally. Manchester United, do we know it too well? We know it too well, unfortunately. We've ripped through managers, good and bad, that like, look at this guy. He's a dog shit manager. So,
no, well, he's a micromanager, right?
He's not
I think
ready
that's probably why him and Brooks didn't get along. It seems to me like Klinsmann's like a player's coach where he's like, hey, getting up. You guys are good enough. Go out there and win it. And you could see kind of Berkheffer is confusing him with too many instructions, and maybe Brooks didn't follow them. Obviously, total speculation here, but this is the type of coach you have. And with this roster, just like let him play. But I think we're good on bashing Berhalter. We definitely got that point across here. Let's just see what he has to say in the press conference. These are always a little weird, a little very strange presser from him. Again, defending his roster decisions here.
2022. It's amazing how much has gone on since we first started qualifying and moving through each window. We are able to see the team gain valuable experience throughout each window, and we're prepared. As we enter this final window, we know there's going to be challenges involved. We know there's going to be ups, we know there's going to be downs, but we're in good position right now, and our goal is to finish it off and qualify for the World Cup by the end of these 3 games. So, tough opening game in Mexico City. Then we come home to a great crowd in Orlando. Then we're back on the road in San Jose. And, we expect all 27 players to play some type of role, and we're really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. We'll begin with questions and start with Brian Strauss from Sports Illustrated.
Thanks, Michael.
All right, we got a quick ad here during the presser. He did say the goal is to qualify for the World Cup, Mike. So we can rest easy that is the goal for the United States men's national team. All right, we're gonna get back to Berkheffer here in a second.
I know you may have addressed this on SportsCenter, but if you could provide an update on what you know about Serginho, that would be great. And then the other question I had was, obviously rotation is always a topic of conversation, and I was curious, in your experience playing at Azteca and sort of keeping track of guys' fitness, is it possible to go 60 to 90 minutes at Azteca and then play again 3 days later? Do you imagine sort of using two completely different platoons of players? Thanks.
No, it's certainly possible. I wouldn't rule out a player being able to play 90 minutes at Azteca and 90 minutes in Orlando and 90 minutes again in San Jose. When you look at some of our players, the rhythm that they're playing is basically, Saturday, Wednesday, through most of the year. So some of our players, not all of them, but some of them are prepared, and some of them will be able to play 3 90-minute games. And it's just identifying who, and then rotating other ones out that aren't able to play that amount. Regarding Serginho, it's not great news. The initial diagnosis, it seems to be a hamstring injury, but we're going to get the final details tomorrow. But we may need to replace him, and we've already identified candidates to replace him, and we're already prepared to speak to him first thing tomorrow.
All right, that's about as much Burkhefer as I can handle. Mike, obviously you can't hear the audio. We're working on that issue here on the pod. He talked about, the question was about the Azteca, and can a player go 90 minutes on Thursday against Mexico and then come back and play Sunday? He said he seems to think they can. That is going to be a tough task, to play at altitude in Mexico and then come back home in the most important game. So rotation kind of comes into the picture there. But Burkhefer doesn't seem to think he needs to rotate. Miguel, you there? I think he might be on mute. But either way, let's get in the CONCACAF table here real quickly. Obviously, Canada number 1. Oh, actually, sorry, Miguel. I think I muted you. Are you there? Yes, I did.
I'm here. Hey, I had
We're live, baby. We're live.
very insightful 20-second
We'll do it live!
commentary there that you guys.
Okay, can you repeat that?
It's better
Sorry,
than the half.
I
That was
hit
better
the
than
wrong.
the half, I'll
I
tell you
hit
that.
the wrong button on the soundboard. Can you repeat what you
I-
said? Friday night
I
pod.
think he's being. Look, I think he's being a little coy, right? Like, he's not going to come out and say what he's doing. But I think he plays guys that come. I think he's going to try and get the draw at Azteca. Like, I think that's probably his plan. So he's probably going to come out and try and play the guys that get us a result for the draw, and then going home, he's going to play the best lineup he can of the cycle. Right? It's my guess.
Which isn't a bad strategy, but here's my problem with the half, and I'm going to leave it at this, and then I will stop bashing the half. It's about acting like you've been there before. And even just watching Jesse Marsch come into Leeds, and I know we hate Leeds as Manchester United fans, but part of me has to root for them now because they have an American coach. So, there is something that, and it's also better to have a villain in the league because it's more fun that way. But they were coming back fighting against Wolves. They won it away. And he just has the attitude of someone that's played in Europe, managed in Europe, and knows how to behave. And there's a little bit of an element of this is a young squad, especially by leaving out of Brooks. You need to have a manager that instills confidence in young players. It's hard to get confident off of that. That's all I'm gonna say.
That is totally fair. Let's check in with the table. Canada number 1, 25 points. United States 21, tie with Mexico, who's also on 21 points, but we have the goal differential advantage. We have 9, Mexico has 6, and Panama at 17 points, 4 back of us and Mexico. They only have 1 goal differential. Costa Rica on 16 points, same 1 goal differential. Then we have El Salvador at 9, Jamaica at 7, on Honduras at 3. Tight table. We have 21 points. Mexico has 21, but the issue is Mexico have easier games, and they're playing us at home in the final 3. So realistically, I think we are fighting for that 3rd spot, short of beat Mexico, beat Panama situation, because Mexico, I believe, is El Salvador, Honduras, and they are 2 poor sides that Mexico should easily dispatch. So as a table shaping up, the best thing we have going for us is that goal differential. 9 goals. So we can talk a lot of smack about the United States, how we haven't done enough. But that goal differential is going to be important. If we tie with Panama or Costa Rica, I doubt they're going to catch us with 8. So any sort of draw on points, we have the advantage, and that should come into play if we end up bottling it in a few different ways here as far as the table is concerned. But before we get into the scenarios, let's get into the next match. That's right, Thursday, March 24th. We are playing at the Estadio Azteca. It's going to be absolutely rocking. Capacity of 87,000, an elevation of 7,200 feet. We've only won at the Azteca once, and it was a friendly match under Jurgen Klinsmann. We won 1-0. It's good. 87,000 will be packed. Hostile environment. We have a temp check here, 76 degrees in Mexico City. So it's gonna be a nice game. None of these 10 degrees games. What do you think, Mike? Thursday night football.
Yeah, I think we're playing for the draw. Like I said, I mean, I think we're gonna come out and try and possess. I think it's probably going to be split possession. I think we'll kind of hold back, though. I think he's going to come out with a bit of a different game plan. I think that would be the smart thing to do, actually. I don't know if he'll do that.
Back 5? Like back 3?
I think he probably lines up in a similar fashion the way he's been doing it, but I think he's gonna play more conservative. Like I think we're not gonna run at him as much. He knows he's gonna have to get the result, so he probably will play pretty conservative, kind of try to possess, sit back, like not push the line too hard, and try to maybe catch him late, right? Because that's probably the best approach as to how to beat Mexico at home. At altitude, that's what I would do, but I don't,
That's what we used to do, though. We don't do that anymore. Right now he's trying to have a majority of the ball. Like we went away to Canada. We had the majority of the ball. We're getting hit on the counter, right? That's similar to how he played Canada. You think, and they were number 1 in the group. You think he's going to adjust? I mean, I do agree with you. You should be sitting back. You should try to hit Mexico on the counter. Obviously, Mexico at home versus Canada at home, two different styles of play. But I'm just concerned about how he's going to line up.
I think he's too tactical to think he can go into Azteca and dominate them at Azteca and beat them like that. I hope he's not that arrogant, right? Because that'll. I think you take that approach, we find ourselves down 2 to 3-0 pretty quickly, and then you're screwed, right? Like you're not coming back from that.
And
but
there's no shame in going for a draw in Mexico City, against a strong Mexico side. So getting a draw out of this result and not losing, dude, for the Burhef and the United States, that would be a good result.
Yeah, we couldn't get a draw against Canada away.
Exactly.
We couldn't get a draw against Panama away. I mean, there's a lot of draws that we could have played for, but we couldn't get at the end of the day. Kickoff is going to be 7 p.m. Pacific. FS1 is where the game will be broadcasted on. Lifetime versus Mexico. We've won 23, drawn 14, lost 38. Mexico has slapped us around for a long time. First time we played them was May 1934. We did beat them in the FIFA World Cup 4-2. That would have been a thriller. Odds, bookies have it. Mexico are the favorite, plus 117. United States, plus 196. Obviously, it makes sense. We are playing away. But what are we worried about, Mike? We did beat them 2-0 when we played them at home. I believe that was in Ohio. Shots, 18 to the United States, 8 to Mexico. Possession, 49 to 51. Shots on target, 5-4. So a close game. Goals from McKinney and Pulisic. I'm worried about with no McKinney. I actually think if you looked back on these games, you'd be like, we lost our best player. McKinney means so much to this squad. He even sort of plugged the gaps with Puli out.
And beyond that, as someone who's just a huge Villarreal fan, I couldn't help but watch them play Juventus. And McKinney was running the show, and then he went down, and Villarreal completely took over that one of the matches that ended up deciding the side. So McKinney going down has huge influence on Juventus. Dude, obviously a huge influence for the U.S. national team, so that will be a big miss.
Absolutely. And then when you talk about Mexico, Mike, Tyler Adams has a yellow card. How do you think about that? Like, do we play our best players against Mexico when we have only won one game ever there? Or do we kind of play the B+ team and then all in on Panama? That's what I would do if I was the manager. I'd kind of play the B+, hardworking defensive side. I'd rest Adams, because if Adams gets a yellow against Mexico, he can't play against Panama. I'm thinking Panama is the game.
Yeah, I mean, that would be. I think you're right. I think it's hard. It's hard to. He's so critical in there, right? So it's. I mean, I do think Berhalter probably thinks him and Acosta are fairly similar, like, players. So he'd probably. I could see him slotting in Acosta, and having like Acosta, Musa, and like a De La Torre in there or something, right? And I mean, I could see him running out with that, and then saving Tyler for the next game. I think he'll play. Like, if he doesn't start, he'll come in the second half unless it's kind of locked down. I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous without McKinney. Like I said earlier, he's been so critical. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough without him in there. And I think he's going to try. I don't know. I hope he doesn't stick with his mentality of trying to press the game. And that's what he did against Canada, right? And we lost, right? So,
yep.
And to your point, so he doesn't seem to have a very open mind when it comes to changing his style of play, and I think that's a weakness.
Hey, 37% win rate. Who would change it? Panama, I mean, obviously that was before he was U.S. men's national team coach. Now his record as the U.S. men's national team coach is higher, so that was just a dig. Next game is going to be Panama at the United States. 4 p.m. Pacific, Sunday, March 27th, FS1 again. This is going to be at the Exploria Stadium in Orlando, Florida. Why play at the Tampa Bay Stadium or Meadowlands or anywhere where you can fit 70,000 rockin' fans for the U.S. men's national team when you can put 25,000 in the Orlando City Soccer Club Stadium? You know, that says a lot about U.S. soccer. You know, they're kicking it back to the MLS teams there. Temperature of 89 degrees Fahrenheit. By the way, of any stadium we play in these 3 games, 87,000 in Mexico, 35,000 in Costa Rica. In the United States, we have 25,000 seat stadium. That's a small mentality, right, Mike? That's like, what are you doing?
No, absolutely, but I don't. I don't know. I don't understand what they do. I don't understand how they choose the stadium.
Dallas Cowboy Stadium, give away free tickets. Like, let's
why
go.
Are you going to Orlando when you're playing Panama? It's like don't like a million.
Exactly.
You're in Florida.
Like,
how could you not sell out 70,000
Panama fans? Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm not.
I don't. Is it the MLS Connect?
This should be at like Dallas Cowboy Stadium in front of like 70,000. Like, Mexico's gonna have 80,000 people.
Dude, the
this
Bucks
should be a
are
huge
like right
deal.
up the road, bro.
Mile High, Levi. I mean,
Yeah.
You could do it in the Bay Area. Do it at Levi. Like, why are you doing it? Yeah, I don't know.
But these
Stadium.
tiny
Doesn't
stadiums,
matter.
they pick like Minnesota tiny these 20,000 seat stadiums. Again, it's Burke Heffer's choice. He really has a say in all this. Lifetime versus Panama, we've won 17, drawn 4. We've lost 3. First time we played them was in the Gold Cup. We won 2-1 in 1993. This is the game. This is everything. We're playing at home, like I said, Orlando, Florida, 25,000 fans. Pretty much win and you're in with this game, depending on Costa Rica, Canada, right? So short of, if Costa Rica loses or draws to Canada and we beat Panama, we are in the World Cup in 2022. This is a must-win game. We lost to them. We played them away 1-0. The stat line, if you looked at the possession, 51%, 49, but shots on target, Panama 4, we had none. And this is a Panama side that we should be destroying but so much on the line. I'm nervous about the order of operations here, Mike. You go away to Mexico, you lose, and then all of a sudden, Panama, this game, you got to win. You're at home. We're going to be nervy, and Panama pretty much has nothing to lose. It's a lot of pressure on these young lads, and they folded in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope at home. I mean, I know it's, not ideal stadium-wise for probably what it's like if you're going to play a cold game, why wouldn't this be it? Like, play this one in Minnesota or something, right?
Play in Alaska.
I think it's the
But, like,
travel.
in
I think the sports
heat,
science and the traveling,
like-
that's why they did it that way with Canada, is they didn't want to travel a lot. They wanted to make their
I don't
opponent
know.
travel more. They would do
I mean,
That's small fucking club mentality, bro.
I know.
Like, we're going to sweat them out. We're going to freeze them
Yeah.
out. No. You want to play in the conditions that are going to, make your team perform the best. Fuck the rest. That's the end of the day. But,
Yeah.
hey, there's never been a higher pressure situation for this manager and for this group of players. So they really have no excuses, right? Costa Rica at away, that Panama at home match. There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, and the next game we're playing at Costa Rica in San Jose, Estadio Nacional de Costa Rica, Sunday, March 30th. That will be on FS1, 6:05 p.m. Our away record in Costa Rica, we've won 3, we've lost 10, drawn 2. Temperature in Costa Rica, it's a nice 79 degrees. Lifetime versus Costa Rica, we've won 19, drawn 5, lost 16. First time we ever played them was 1975. We lost 3-1 in the Copa de Mexico. We did beat them in October 2-1 at home. We had a goal from Dest and then an own goal from Costa Rica. But they were playing poor to start. They have fought back. They're playing much better right now. And again, we have a bad record away in Costa Rica. The last game, could you imagine us needing something out of this game?
I mean, I could imagine it. Yeah. Like, do I want to imagine it? No. I mean, if we're going into this game and we need a result, I'm gonna be a wreck, John. I'm gonna be a wreck. I don't even know.
I'm gonna be half out. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna be half out.
Okay, so sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
We did dominate them in the last game, right? I mean, that gives me some comfort. Like, it was that last time we played them, we destroyed them. I mean, we should have outscored them by more. So, I mean, if that gives you any kind of like comfort, but I mean, if we really need a result going in that game, like, it's, I think everybody's going to be freaking out, and I'll definitely be in that camp.
Well, we're gonna watch this one together, so hopefully we don't need a result. I did build. So actually, let's go. I'll run through the scenarios real quick. I built an Excel model just to kind of play with it. There's a lot of different outcomes, so I try to generally get an idea of like where this could come out realistically. The scenario in the first game that I painted was we lose to Mexico. You can't expect to get a result at the Azteca. Panama beats Honduras because they are obviously the worst in the group, and Costa Rica loses to Canada, who is the best in the group. So based on that scenario, if we beat Panama, win, and we automatically get third. Even if Costa Rica beats El Salvador and us in the last game, and if Panama beats Canada in the last game, we still get in. So if you look at that, I think that's pretty likely. That first round of games, we're going to lose to Mexico, Panama beats Honduras, Costa Rica loses to Canada. Then all we got to do is beat Panama, and we're in. We get third place. Panama gets fourth. Costa Rica gets fifth. If we draw Panama beats Canada, we'd be tied for fourth with Panama, and it would come down to goal difference, where the U.S. has an 8-goal lead, and the U.S. would go into the playoff in fourth place.
Kill me.
So it is
Oceania.
possible that we can go in the Oceania playoff. That would require Panama beating Canada, and then we would be tied for fourth. So again, Panama, we have to draw, and then they would have to play well against Canada. But obviously, Canada might have qualified by then, so who knows how they would line up. And if we draw Panama and Panama loses to Canada, we could be in a tie for third with Costa Rica if they beat us. Again, goal difference would have the advantage to the United States, and we'd automatically be in third place. So a draw against Panama, and we're still going to be in via third place or fourth. And we would play the teams in Oceania, which are doing their tournament in Qatar, ironically, this month to figure out who goes in. That's the Solomon Islands, Tahiti, Vanuatu, Cook Islands, Fiji, New Zealand, New Caledonia, Papua New Guinea. So the winner of that tournament we would play to get in.
So you're saying we got a chance if we make it in fourth.
But it's not a crazy scenario, Mike, drawing to Panama, and then Panama somehow beats Canada, then we're in fourth. And then we're playing Fiji or New Zealand realistically. And then the disaster scenario, U.S. loses all 3 matches. We would miss out on the World Cup, and Panama qualifies with wins against the U.S. and Honduras with 23 points. And third, Costa Rica goes into the playoff on 22 points, beating us and El Salvador. So if we lose all 3 games, we're out. And that is the scenario that we're concerned about, because you look at the record against Costa Rica and Mexico, and it all comes down to that Panama game. That we're in a tough spot, and mainly because Mexico plays El Salvador and Honduras, and we have to play 3 top 4 sides, 2 of them away. That is a difficult setup for the United States, and I think some people are underestimating how hard that could be for us.
And I'm a juju guy, dude. So the fact that like Trinidad and Tobago got our number last time, and we have to go play, well, most likely have to go play some small island nation.
New Zealand.
Like I can see,
New Zealand.
I can see Fiji just like kicking us in the teeth, bro. Like knowing this team.
So given those are the scenarios.
What if we draw Mexico, John? What does that do? What does that do to that? Did you run that through your spreadsheet?
So if I change the first set of games, it would create like many more scenarios beyond like what is probably worth covering on the pod. So I'm just assuming that. But here's the thing: if Costa Rica gets a point against Canada or beats Canada, the whole thing changes. I was just assuming Panama beats the worst team. We can't get a result away at the Azteca, and Costa Rica can't beat Canada. I think those are, I can say that with 70% certainty that happens. And then from there, you can extrapolate. So very shoddy scenarios, but given there's so many outcomes, this is a realistic view of what could happen. Given those are the scenarios, what is your prediction, Mike? How does it go down? Do we go play New Zealand or Fiji in the Oceania playoffs? Let us know. What is your prediction? Score. I need a game by game, and then what position we finish in the table.
I think we lose at Azteca. I think we lose one. I think it's going to be close. It would be 1-0. I think we get the result against Panama. I just can't see us not doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's just the fan in me that just is too emotional about it. But I think we win that game. I'm going to say it's 2-1, and then I think we lose to Costa Rica 1-0. So I think we get a 1-win, 2-loss situation here. And so what does that put us in? I think that puts us in third, right, John?
It does. Yep, it does. But the thing is, if under that scenario, if Costa Rica beats Canada, it completely changes the game for our qualification. But I can't do the math live here on the pod.
Good.
Alex, what do you think?
So Manchester United broke my heart this year, and I'm just a broken man. So I think we're gonna get like a point from these 3 matches, end up in the playoff, and lose to a lovely island state somewhere in the South Pacific. So I think we're gonna miss out on the World Cup, but we're going to the Middle East no matter what, because why not? So yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen. 1 point from 3 games.
Yeah. So Mike, on that scenario I was talking about before, so if Costa Rica beats Canada, right, and we beat Panama, then that means Costa Rica probably beats El Salvador, and then they beat us. That means they get 9 points, and then they'd be on 25, and then we would be on 24, and then we would be in 4th place, and we would go to that playoff. So that's the other scenario. But I'm assuming that Costa Rica does not beat Canada. I'm going to agree with Alex. I think I think this team hasn't been playing well.
You guys.
I don't think that
We've been broken. United broke our spirit.
I do not. I'm not betting any dollar I own that Burke Heffer is going to First of all, I want to say generally, and this is something that we talk about in the Manchester United pod. It is a failure. We're talking about the United States getting third in this group.
Yeah.
Absolute failure. It's an absolute failure that Canada bested us twice, including at our house. It's unbelievable how late we've left this. And we're talking about literally trying to beat Panama by like a point in the group. It's unbelievable.
Get him.
It's
Hit him. It's true, dude.
We
It's
couldn't.
true.
We bottled against Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, this is actually more respectable because we're talking about Panama and Costa Rica. But still, this roster, this team, we have played horribly. And I just think you're right. The fan in you is biased. And I want to say it, but like, no way, Jose, against Mexico. Panama, I think it's a draw because you got to say CONCACAF refs, scrappy players, a lot of time wasted, and they're going to get in our heads, and we're nervy. And Berhalter's nervy, and he breeds nervousness. And I just think it's going to be, I say we get to the World Cup in the playoffs. So I say we go fourth, we go to the playoff, we beat New Zealand, we get into the World Cup. I think we go to the World Cup, but it's going to be close. 25% chance of getting third and just automatically going. I want that, but I'm going to say the more nervy way and hope that kind of, the footballing gods look down upon us and say, hey, these guys really need a World Cup, And then we can talk about getting out of the group.
I'm going no matter what. We're rooting for somebody. We're going. Doesn't matter.
Any final words, Mike? We really appreciate you coming on and giving us a take. I mean, we sound like we're beating up the coach. We're all nervous. Like we're talking about the Oceania playoff. Like, are we just absolutely Muppets or what?
Yeah, we might be. I mean, look, I mean, like I said at the beginning, Peely's in form, Gio's back, Aaronson's in form. We have a lot going for us. So, I mean, unless Berhalter decides to bench Pulisic again, which is a possibility as well.
Yeah, he did that.
Right?
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, don't forget he benched our best player.
Jordan Morris.
The players could carry us through. I mean, they should, right? So, hopefully, and we have had Mexico's number, so maybe we get a draw and a win, and then we're done with it. But I don't know. I'm definitely nervous, and hopefully, John, we're sitting there in the Costa Rica game, drinking a few dark ales, and enjoying ourselves and not really watching the game.
Won't even matter.
That would be ideal.
Won't even matter. It'll be cream on top, right? Because at the end of the day, I think the one thing that might save us is these kids. I think this crop of lads are the real deal. Like, not real deal win the World Cup, but real deal like make the country proud and not miss out. So I think the only thing that could save us is these kids like grab the game by the scruff of their neck and just win it.
Well, McKennie was that player.
I
honestly.
know.
He was that player,
And
right?
Brooks has that too, dude. It's like you need that grit because we're playing Mexico at Mexico, Costa Rica. This is gonna be so rough.
It just
and
comes
you have
down
the
to the games.
CONCACAF refs that are gonna play to the home fans. That's really tough.
No, you're running uphill. The refs and these games are very tough games. We left it late. We should have wrapped this up. This should be easy for us, and to need games and other people to lose and have it go your way and then have to get results against these three sides is going to be no joke. I think we can do it. How nervy can it get? I think that's just really the question. So we shall see. Mike, thank you so much for joining. We'll do, once the World Cup draw happens, assuming we make it, we'll be doing another U.S. Men's National Team Takeover podcast where we can celebrate going to Qatar. But right now, we're just going to have to grit our teeth and watch these games. But thanks again for coming on. You're the man. Thanks for breaking it down.
Thanks for having me on, sirs. All right, onward and upward.
Thank you, Miguel.
Have a great one. Go USA.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Big shout out to Miguel for coming on the pod, breaking it down Friday night. U.S. Men's National Team. I think we're bringing our sad United season to the U.S. Men's National Team, but I haven't been many bright spots there, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Well, I mean, the one thing that is positive is that I feel like these players haven't been jaded by just like making shit tons of money and not having that kind of attitude of we've all made it, we're comfortable. There is a grit, like I said, as Miguel was signing off, I think the one thing that could save us is like there's a general grit in this like class of kids that are ready to break on through. Like they want to be able to play with the rest of the world's elite, right? They already are playing in Europe. The players that are going to bring us to the fucking promised land are playing in Europe already. So I think that's our best hope. And the manager, I mean, he ain't a stayer. Like he's not winning nothing with this club's this country. So at the end of the day, he's going to be proved out, and that's just a matter of time.
All right. Well, we got some Manchester United to talk about. We got a bunch of news.
Is it positive?
United in the news. Still got to talk Manchester United, even though it was the takeover pod. A lot's been going on. International break update. England, Rashford, Sancho dropped. Maguire and Shaw in per Gareth Southgate. Paul Pogba in for France. Martial out for France. Telles and Fred are in for Brazil. Cavani and Pellistri in for Uruguay. Elanga gets called up to Sweden. De Gea dropped from Spain, but Jimmy Garner gets called up to U21 England. Obviously, Rashi, Sancho, those are the big ones that are out. Somehow Maguire, he can play so bad for United, but Southgate rates him big time for England. It's the tale of two players for Maguire there, but you like to see the youngsters, Pellistri getting called up, Fred playing for Brazil, and then Garner for the U21s for England. That's great news for Manchester United fans.
It is, and there's even players beyond this. Elanga, obviously with the Sweden call-up, and Alejandro Garancho called up for the Argentinian squad at 17 years young, sir. One of the most promising lads in the under-23 makeup, and it's only going to get better from there, sir. I like the Gareth Southgate. What a goofball. The fact that, like, Sancho, okay, Rashford doesn't make it. That makes sense. He's not in form. Sancho, dude, he's in form. He's playing good football, I would say.
He doesn't like him. He doesn't like him.
Yeah, but I don't think Gareth Southgate's a very good manager, but
he misses penalties as a player, bottle penalties as a manager. That's how it goes for Gareth Southgate. Getting into it, after the Atletico match, Manchester United star Marcus Rashford confronts fans out of frustration in the parking lot. Sir, what'd you make of this one? Looks like things are boiling over for Marcus Rashford. Obviously, didn't have a great game, has been out of form for United. Some jeering from the fans, and he kind of had to be held back by security. Was kind of saying, "Come get me," or "Hey man, what the hell?" Rashford then he apologized, big apology paragraph on social. Sad to see this from Marcus Rashford. Obviously, fans, you saw the video. The guy just said, "Hey, that was an awful performance." You don't see anything before, you don't see anything after, context, etc. But I've never seen this from players at Manchester United, like getting that fired up. I mean, what do you make of this?
I mean, I didn't think this was that big of a deal. I think the bigger issue is Marcus Rashford's continued performances on the pitch that have been substandard and his lack of effort. But player was saying some. Why, if you're an adult, fucking hanging around after the fact to hassle our own team? Like, I don't really get that. If you're in the game, if you're watching in the stadium, you're like, God damn it, you play like shit. That makes more sense. And if you really watch the video, he just turned around after he said something. So, I mean, he's not playing well.
No,
there's a lot of wind at the face of Marcus Rashford, but I don't think this is that big of a deal personally. But sir, what do you think?
You're right. It's a nothing burger. What the red flag for me is the paragraph apology on social. And it kind of gives you a window into where Marcus is right now, and he seems to be spiraling a little bit. Like you said, the performances are bad. A lot of apologies, not just for this, but for the results on social. He's wearing it all on his shoulders, like he's responsible for Manchester United. And it's wearing him thin, and he's getting frustrated. All this showed me is Marcus Rashford is frustrated, and when you're playing bad and you're frustrated and you're apologizing and all of this, and he must be reading a lot more on. He must be so much of Marcus is just he's got to simplify it and just focus on football. Stop focusing on the noise. Stop focusing on your PR team. Stop focusing on what people think. Like if you told this guy to fuck off, like good for you, Marcus. Like I don't care. Like this doesn't. Like you said, focus on the results on the pitch. But then he had the I want to leave, and it's just been it's been a rough year for Marcus. It's sad to see as a fan. It started when he was injured for United. He didn't get the surgery. He went to England. He didn't play at all. Then he took that penalty. He missed it. Then he wasn't communicating with the club about when he was going to get his surgery done. Jetted off with Jadon Sancho. Finally gets it done. And he comes back and never found it again. And something tells me it's more of the mental side that's affecting Marcus. And something's got to change in his camp. He's got to be able to block out the noise a little bit and stop apologizing on social media, because that gives you a window into. I think he's really involved in social, and he's really concerned what people think about him versus focusing on the football, right?
Well, I think all the players are these days. There's far too much of a focus about how, what the tweets are going to be, what the gram posts are going to be, and who the fuck gives a shit about any of that.
Exactly.
It's all about performance on the pitch. Marcus is in a tough moment. Dude, we are all rooting for Marcus Rashford, but at the end of the day, this club is in fucking free fall. We are literally like falling out of the sky in terminal velocity, and he's just caught into the middle of that. He's a player that's out of form. The whole Southgate World Cup thing, I can criticize the manager putting him in a bad position, but at the end of the day, he did miss a pen. He had the injury. He had to come back from the injury, and then this club is just completely out of sorts, so nobody's in a position to succeed. So it's like...
No, I agree, but for me, it goes to the
soft,
Rooney article earlier talking about how when they lost a game, Rooney came in pissed off, and Jesse, Lingard, and Pogba are dancing like there's no big deal. It's the mentality. It's a little of the thin skin. It's like, stand up for yourself, Marcus. Don't apologize. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't apologize for losing. Focus on the pitch. It seems so much of him this season has been managing the narrative, and even paying attention to the narrative, where I think he needs to rethink it. And I hope he doesn't think another team's the solution, because he has a lot of fans. We all back Marcus Rashford. We want him to stay. And just, everyone has a bad year. So let's focus on the next season. Also, Pogba's house broken into during the Atletico game. This is happening at an alarming rate in Manchester, affecting players. It's no good. I don't understand why the club hasn't provided the players security to protect their homes during the games. They are employed, and this is a result of their employment. Again, the Glazers obviously not going to be doing something, spending money to help this team, but the rate, Lindelof, obviously Di Maria, don't like him, but Pogba, this happens quite often, and his kids were at home with their nanny. I mean, this is really, sympathy goes out to Paul Pogba here. I mean, just thinking of something like this happening to me, I'd be mortified.
No, it's horrible. Player that we've had mixed feelings about, but at the end of the day, this is like, he's a human. He's got a family. This is horrible stuff. It happens all the time, by the way.
But this is affecting the team.
Yeah, I don't know how pervasive this is in American sports, because I just don't follow American sports as much as I do as English Premier League, bro. But it seems to happen quite often. Like every other month, somebody in the English Premier League is getting their house robbed while they're playing a game. It seems to be like,
but it affects the team.
Yeah, of course, because it happened to Lindelof, right? Like, think about
exactly.
how that
he
would
missed games.
How would that affect your individual psyche if you have to go home with your family, your wife, your young kids? We have young kids, and then your house got broken into. It's like that cannot, and then you have to perform, and it's a game where it's so mental, right? Why is Marcus not playing well?
Exactly.
Because of mental, bro. Because mentality. Because of he's young, he doesn't have the same experience to leverage that. Like he knows he can get through these hard times. Like you said, I mean, I think a club that had their shit together would probably make sure that their players were well secured at home. So you don't have to worry about that, because I can't imagine you're going to play well after your house gets robbed.
Exactly. And Lindelof missed a game, and this affects the first team, and it's probably led to, obviously, I don't like Di Maria, but it helped him leave Manchester, not like the place. I think, if you read Sir Alex books, it's about getting people settled, helping them get comfortable in the area, and clearly security now. This also happens to Arsenal players. It's not just Manchester, but this is a thing where people go and rob players' houses during games. Next article here, Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, this is the best news I've heard in a long time. Coming out strong. Lots of different press picking this up. This comes from Ducker, who wants to stay, not worried about Champions League football. And I love it. I absolutely love this. As a CR7 fan, we may not make Champions League football, but just the idea of Ronaldo playing for us again next season just makes me a little happy. There's not a lot to look forward to right now with this team. We still got the fight for top 4, but Ronaldo being back at Old Trafford gives me feels, makes me happy. What do you think?
I'm a contrarian. I want the opposite.
How dare you?
800,000 pounds a week. Hey, Ronaldo, huge amount of value. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say like he doesn't fit in this team, but at the end of the day, I want a full rebuild. I want this team gutted. Root and stem.
He's not the problem.
I'm not saying he is. That's not the point. The point is like we need a full cultural overhaul. We need to. Sir, I know he's your boy, bro, but I can also do that. This thing is not working, sir. Talk about the app, sir. Would you mute me, bro? Sex masochism. Sir, I know you love Ronaldo, but like this is not the move. If we're thinking about like going low and slow and rebuilding, I don't think re-upping Ronaldo for 800,000 pounds a week.
We're not re-upping. It's a 2-year deal. He's just not leaving.
Yeah, I understand,
And
but we're not going to make Champions League. So
reading the tea leaves. 1, he just wants money and he can't get more money anywhere and no one wants him. Or 2, he knows who the next manager is and he wants to stay for that. Which one do you think it is?
1. 1, because you know what? I don't think,
he knows who the next
idea
manager is.
No, I think he cares about money first and foremost. And no one else in Europe, in the top leagues of Europe, is going to pay him that kind of money, personally.
There was rumor about PSG, and obviously he's looking to break I think he wants to go for 1,000 goals. Obviously, England's not an easy place to score goals, but I do like this out of Ronaldo. I thought he would leave if we didn't make Champions League football, but the fact that I think that hat trick brought back a lot of feels. I always just like him to be willing to play a role, like not every game. I like him to kind of be a leader in the dressing room under the new manager and not having to play every game. I think when he had to play every game, that really was the issue. I think he should be resting and then coming back, scoring a hattie, taking some time off, etc., letting the young lads get in there. Next bit of news here, talking about the manager. Manchester United to step up new manager search during international break. Apparently they're approaching Ten Hag in it's in Amsterdam. Apparently they're headed there. Arnold, our boy, gonna go wrap up Ten Hag. And the reason why is Ten Hag. Update on Tuchel. Manchester United is interested due to uncertain future of Chelsea. We've inquired about Tuchel, but he loves Chelsea. He wants to stay. His family's happy in London. He doesn't want to move to Manchester United. Apparently, this comes from Plattenberg. I don't know the tier on him. Apparently, this comes from Sky Sports. So Tuchel doesn't want to budge out of Chelsea down to Poch and Hag. I think Hag will be the cheaper option, and they can get him done now. I think that is probably the move. Are you happy with Ten Hag?
I would like Ten Hag. Ideally, it would be a lot of news, sir. Rangnick as the DOF with a Ten Hag or a Tuchel.
I heard they're going to fire Rangnick. I heard they're going to can him.
Sir, well, this club is run by fucking morons, so maybe they would. So yeah.
Rumor.
Sir, rumor. Monitoring FC, stepping up interest FC. It's like the fact that they haven't even appointed a manager yet. It's almost the end of March. This club is a joke, sir.
We got an interim.
Sir, interim, preschool, post-school. This club has no idea what they're doing. They haven't figured out who the next manager is going to be. They want to fire Ralph Rangnick? Yeah, Ralph Rangnick's the problem, bro. Just like I'm the problem. I don't care. Just pick a manager and say this is the guy, because at the end of the day, you made a point months ago, and it's like it doesn't matter what manager you pick. You just have to pick a manager and do it with conviction and throw the weight of the club behind it, because now we're just waffling in the wind like those freaking wind guys that they have outside of used car dealerships, bro. The club has no backbone. They have no conviction about what they're doing, because the people that own the club are in the UAE buying a fucking cricket club.
Okay, speaking of that, Simon Stone says Manchester United won't be setting up a cricket team, and discussions were around the idea proposed about buying a franchise and getting a portion of it. Either way, the Glazers are traveling to the UAE about a cricket league, and they can't travel to talk to fans. They promised the fans they'd communicate with them. They've done nothing. We said they would lie. Sir, they're just doing the same song and dance, #Glazers out.
Bro, they haven't been to one game at Old Trafford since 2019, but they made it to the UAE, and that's a little farther from Tampa than fucking Manchester.
I know. Tampa.
Tampa.
Look, that is it. That is the podcast. We did a little, I would say, a big U.S. men's national team preview. Huge implications. I'm very nervous for these games, but also pumped as a fan. International break, we got something to cheer for. And then a ton of Manchester United news we had to kind of go through. We're very excited about the manager. Alex and I were up early this morning arguing about Tuchel, arguing about Ten Hag. My concern with Ten Hag, sir, it's just I worry about the big names. Can he handle the all-stars, the big money in the locker room? Is he the man to do that?
Sir, I'll tell you what.
I like Hag.
The last thing you need to worry about is the manager. The manager doesn't matter. That's just noise. It doesn't matter. It don't matter.
Well, here's the thing. If the director of football can't make moves and the board isn't going to make moves, then we need a manager that can do a lot with what we got. And I like Ten Hag a lot, but those Ajax players are hungry. Like our boy Ralph says, second or third contract, or first or second big contract, they're hungry. How is that going to translate to the overpaid all-star issue that we have at United? So let's hope it's Hag. Let's hope he can sort it out. Either way, expect movement, expect smoke during international break, and expect the U.S. men's national team to qualify. And once the World Cup groups are drawn, we will be doing a recap of that, assuming the U.S. men's national team make it. But if you like the America Red Devils, we are for fans, by fans. Please support the podcast. Check us out on Patreon, www.patreon.com/America Red Devils. We don't have any ads. We do it for you, the fans, and we want to be supported directly by you, the fans. So please check out our Patreon. It's the best way to do so. Also, check out our website, www.americareddevils.com. Amazing fan-generated blog content. Click on store. Grab some merch. It supports this small-time operation. It is 9:20 on a Friday night. We do whatever we can to get these pods up, and we absolutely enjoy it. Also, write a review on iTunes. That is going to be it. We don't have our top downloads last 7 days. Actually, we can pull it up here. Sir, I'd like a...
So we got nothing but time.
I like
you want like a two Negroni...
a two Negroni slurring of the
I think I'm holding
here.
it together. I think I'm holding it together better than Burf Heffer does.
You actually... I think you need more Negronis on the pod. You're a little smoother.
I literally timed it out. I didn't start drinking till 6 p.m. and I only had my second when we started the pod.
No, I'm just telling you, for all the fans out there, Alex with like two Negronis, he's a little smoother.
Bro. I hate smoother. Number one, how you doing? How you doing, sir? It's a favorite of ours, Jersey City, New Jersey. Number 2, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Fresno, California. How you doing? How you doing? El Paso, Texas. Oh, it's all Americano. I love it. Purcellville, Virginia. Elko, Nevada. Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. East Orange, New Jersey. Hamburg, New Jersey. Hamburg, Germany. Appreciate you and your small beers. And last but not least, Easton, Alton, Illinois. We appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. We never take time off. This guy's got a wife, 38 weeks pregnant. Mine's 20 weeks pregnant. It's our Friday night pods. They're always a little bit different.
Having a laugh.
They're always a little bit
enjoying
spicy.
every bit of it. I love breaking down United, U.S. men's national team.
Here's the bet. Is Hef going for a pre-match run for any of these 3 matches? That's
No,
the question.
he's not.
3 hours before a match, is he going to go kid it out?
All right, we're going to leave you because I believe we will win. It's just that's the only one that we were able to find online. We're going to leave you with the pre-game music and narration by Kiefer Sutherland before the 2014 World Cup, before we played Ghana, the match that we went to. Let's hope the United States makes it to Qatar, and we're getting a hyped-up pre-game. Unbelievable stuff. U.S. national team. Let's go, USA. Let's qualify. Cannot wait. Everyone have a great week. We'll see you on the other side.
They call it the group of death. So be it. The U.S., Portugal, Germany, and Ghana. West African nation about the size of Oregon. Took us out of the last 2 World Cups and really seemed to enjoy it. In fact, we've never beaten Ghana. Some say that proves we don't measure up, that we'll never survive. And to that, we say thanks. You see, here's the thing. You doubt us? Perfect. Underestimate us? fine. Challenges are what we wake up for. Working harder is what we do. And this is who we are. It's called the Group of Death. Makes sense because we're in it. U.S. Ghana. Now.